Hey, Dionne the Tea Priestess here. Welcome to you and me and my altar. Okay, this is kind of going to be a weird video for me, so I might end up having to just flip the picture because I do all of my videos on my phone for the sake of ease, and I didn't really have anything to stand my phone up so that I could do this video because I really wanted to make sure that I showed you altars. So let me kind of turn myself around here. All right, so this is my main altar. Well, first of all, I want to say that altars are just a collection of objects that have special significance to the person who's using it. Even if you don't have something very specifically that you think of in a religious context, everybody has altars in their house. It's just a flat surface that you keep a collection of items on. Now, obviously, in the religious context, it's a place where sacred rituals are performed, and that's kind of how I use my altar. It's a spiritual center for me to perform sacred rituals. And I am very fortunate that when we were looking at moving into a house, I was very specific in holding the vision of being able to have a space, a room specifically, that I could have a bunch of altars in. And so I'm going to share one of them today, but I'm going to come back to that and revisit that because I keep about 6 altars. Because of my work with the elements, I tend to have elemental altars, and when I work with goddesses, I end up either getting statues or statues come to me. So that's kind of been interesting. But this right here is my main altar, and you can see here, and let me move that. You can see that I've got just an altar cloth to kind of protect the space. It's just a cabinet that I got at a store a few years ago, and I really liked the front. But here is a cloth, and I liked the fabric. It reminded me of the winter season. You can see it's kind of got these whitish, pinkish poinsettias and pine cones and holly and ivy and all sorts of little just kind of evergreen things. So this won't change until, is this one the Halloween one? Yeah, this one won't change until next week when we get into the lunar new year and we move into, and we're starting to make that wheel of the year turn into spring. It'll be in between the lunar new year and Imbolc, which is next week. And then I keep this candle. This candle holder was one of the last gifts my mom ever gave me before she passed away. So I use this to remember, to just kind of feel connected to the love that she gave me, but also to connect that mother love that my mom had for me to the love that I have for my goals and my dreams and goddess and working with the element. It's just it's just a symbol of all of the love that is surrounding me. And so when I'm feeling kind of down or depressed or whatever, or up and happy and joyous, I come and I light this candle and I kind of infuse this with even more love, if that makes sense. And then this is something relatively new that I've been doing. Within this box, I've got 2 pieces. Because I facilitate a circle of women who are training to become priestesses, I have their intentions in this box. I have my intention that I'm holding for the circle and their intention that they are holding for their priestess emergence. And so I have that contained within here. And then within this, and you see I've got Lord Ganesh, remover of obstacles, and I ask him to hold the place of the divine masculine in right relationship to the divine feminine. And then I've got this pyramid, this goddess pyramid, and this actually holds my personal goals and intentions. And then what I do daily, oh, and you can see back here I've got my sage bundle in my shell here, and then I've got my enormous beautiful goddess statue that I have, and then again I've got another divine masculine, see, it's beautiful, and then the divine feminine. And I've got these in the white too, because I like to work with both the light and the dark aspects, like not necessarily dark from a position of, oh, what's hidden, but what's gestating, what's waiting to be born. Also, I use them to kind of remind me of this descent into darkness with the wheel of the year in the in the northern hemisphere that we're in right now. It's starting to turn to the light. So when I change my altar cloth, I'll also change the goddess and the god statue to the light one, so that that can remind me of how we're moving towards the light. I typically change them during winter solstice, but the biggest thing that I've really learned about working with altars is to really just kind of tune in. There's no set thing that you have to or don't have to do. You know, like, I know there are plenty of people who don't specifically work with any kind of deities. They just have representations of themselves on their altar as part of spirit. Anyway, so when I come to my altar, and I just finished doing this morning, and I'll come at least during the morning, but sometimes I just will come in during the course of the day to get a booster. But I like to use my singing bowl, and it's a high octave singing bowl. I hope you can hear that. There we go. And I will tap the singing bowl, and sometimes I'll actually run my little thing here around the rim just to kind of build the energy, so that I can clear the vibrations away from any vibrations that are not in alignment with my personal goals and dreams, and my priestess's goals and dreams, my priestess circle goals and dreams. And then a lot of times I will light that candle again to and then I will take both of these boxes individually, and I'll kind of wave them over the candle flame to kind of infuse them. And I'm giving you a really brief overview, and I haven't always used my altar in this way. Like I said, it just kind of changes up depending on what I'm studying personally, where I'm moving, what I'm going through personally. And I also will, it's not always like these statues aren't always on this altar. If I'm doing a special ceremony for myself, and because I am a priestess, I do ceremonies all the time, and I practice what is called living ceremony. And it's in a nutshell, living ceremony is basically doing a ceremony in a way that's alive for the participants right then. So I don't necessarily follow any pre-prescribed pattern or timing. I mean, I do follow timings, but I don't necessarily wait until, you know, the moon is high in the sky and all of these other kind of imageries, although I do night rituals. I'm just saying that I don't necessarily do it the same way all the time. It's whatever is alive for me in that moment during that time. Okay, so I infuse it with love. I infuse it. I will often just kind of stand here and take 5 deep breaths and infuse my personal intentions with love. Infuse my priestess circle intentions with my love, my personal energy. And oftentimes I'll sit down in front of my altar and just kind of tune in, like, on my personal goals. I'll actually, and I know you can't see that here, but let me just open this up. I'm not gonna share, but what I do is I write whatever goals that I'm working on personally on slips of paper, and then I put them in my pyramid here. I've got 4 things in here right now, and I try and keep the number very small so that way I'm not splitting my focus hugely. But I just kind of tune into the timings. Like right now, my goals have asked for me to check in on them weekly. And so I will, after I do, like after I clear the energy around them, after I infuse them with love, I will take them out individually and look at them. And this is where I keep a journal. Okay, so I used to be anti, like, I used to always want to keep one journal, right? But if you go back and see my other videos, you see I keep like several journals now. I keep a processing journal. I keep a journal I keep my planner in which I kind of write the goings on of my day, and then I also keep smaller journals that just hold all of the classes that I take, right? I love taking online classes, so I'll keep, I usually get a new journal at the beginning of the year to kind of hold all of the whatever I've discovered through the online classes. But I also, towards the end of last year, 2016, I actually started to decide, you know what, I really want to be able to give my dreams their own space. Like, you know, as a mom with 2 kids, you know, you spend time with both of them, but then you also create some time to spend individually. You know, you don't, or if you have multiple friends, you know, you might gather together and spend some time with them collectively. But in order to continue to have a good relationship, you want to spend some quality personal time with each individual person in your life, you know. And that's kind of the idea that I had about working with my goals. So again, I got those skinny moleskins that come in a package of 2 or 3, and on the first page I just kind of put the goal, and I journal with them individually. And sometimes it's just a few sentences, and sometimes it's like pages and pages. I don't make a huge deal of it. I give myself about 5 minutes with each goal. So again, it doesn't have to take a long time. None of these practices have to take a long time. So I hope this tiny tour of my altar has sparked some ideas for you. And I will be, let's see. Oh, If you like this video, please do subscribe and please do share on social media so that way other people who might like, who might like the content that I'm sharing will be able to find me. And give me a like, because it does help other people to find me. It does help the metrics on YouTube helps to recommend videos based upon people's likes. So there's that. And I hope I'll probably do another video on the journals that I keep for my goals, because like I said, I'm going to focus more in on journaling. And I also want to let you know that starting the registration page opens Monday. So for my latest class, The Sacred Dance of Self-Love, I really feel like we need to, well, one of the things that has come up for me is really to connect deeply with self-love, and in order to be able to give from our overflow in these kind of precarious times that we live in, to really learn to love ourselves deeply so that we can be able to give to others from our overflow. And so I'll talk more about that self-love course next week. And I'll also have some journaling stuff for you next week. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you are new here. And if you have been here for a while with me, again, I thank you for taking the time to watch this video and to be a part of my world. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.